Hello, these are some potatoes we purchased in the last month in autumn here in the United Kingdom, and we're now just moving into our middle month in winter. We're just moving into midwinter, and we bought these to eat. Yeah, we did. What I did was I set some aside. The ones that are in this bag, I set them aside, and I've stored them in this bag, wrapped in tissue, in my fridge, in the garage. I've stored them there because I don't want these potatoes to grow for at least another 2 or 3 months. So at the time I bought them, we're talking 4 or 5 months before I needed these potatoes to spring into life. So I put them in the bottom of the fridge, in the crisper, in the salad drawer, and that's where they've been. Brought them out today to show you, but one thing that did happen, unfortunately, is that all the other potatoes that came out of the bag, we didn't eat them. I thought we'd eaten them, but I've actually found some on the veg rack. So we can do a comparison. We've got potatoes from this bag that have been stored several months in a fridge, and potatoes from this bag that have been on my veg rack in my garage for the same length of time, not stored in as cold a condition as these potatoes. And it's worth pointing out now in this video that it's just been reported that the UK has just had its warmest year on record. Hey, how about that? And it was warm in autumn. I can tell you that. It was warm in autumn. So the garage wasn't as cold as it would usually be. And still isn't. It's still warmer than it would usually be at this time of year. But the fridge is cold, the garage isn't. Okay, I'm going to turn this bag round, give you a closer look, and you'll see what we're talking about. As you can see, these potatoes are Maris Piper potatoes. You can see from the pictorial on the bag what they're good for. They're good for making chips. They were grown in the county of Angus, which is Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom, and they were grown by Jim Gray. Hey, that's a certificate of authenticity, isn't it? I mean, how much do you want to know? You know what they are, you know who grew them, and you knew where they grew them. Don't need any more than that, do you? No, of course you don't. Okay, so let's have a look at potatoes that have been stored in a fridge for several months. How about that? Bold as a badger. It's Kojak. No chits there, mate. And cold to the touch. No chits there. And cold to the touch. Some very, very small chits, look. Very small chits. Cold to the touch. So we know these potatoes are viable because there are some very small chits. I'll be surprised if you can see them, but there are some very small chits. Let me just put these to the back of this box. These will be going back in the fridge after I've shot this video, and they won't be coming out for a couple of months, and then we'll chip them up. Maybe sooner if the weather picks up. Who knows? A lot of this is weather dependent in actual fact. Yeah, I've just spotted there's a couple of little chits on this one. Yeah, so we know they're viable. We know they're viable because they're wanting to chit up. but we're suppressing that with cold. That's all, nothing else, just cold. Now, compare and contrast these potatoes stored in a fridge to these potatoes on my veg rack in the garage. Hey, how about that? This guy wants to grow. He wants to grow. But we're still in our middle winter month here at Homegrown Veg. I can't plant these guys, not yet anyway. But this fella, he wants to grow. But they've chitted up far too soon. Wow, look at that. I mean, it's even throwing roots down, look. You see the roots? It's throwing roots down. I can't plant them. Where am I going to plant them? Yeah, I could put them in buckets. But there's no way I'm keeping buckets indoors. I just wouldn't get away with it. So I'd have to go outdoors. And the greenhouse is cold. The weather's cold. So these guys, I'm not too sure what'll happen to them. I'm not too sure what'll happen to these potatoes in front. The ones that are already chitted up. But the ones in back, I'll chit those up when the time's right, and we'll plant them when the time's right. These guys will keep hold of them for a little longer, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with them. We couldn't plant them now, it's just far too cold. Far too cold. Yeah, so if you're going to grow store-bought potatoes and you've purchased them and it's still winter where you garden, you don't want them chitting up. You don't want them chitting up. Store them, as I've done, in the fridge and just check them regularly. Then we'll bring them out nearer the time, we'll chit them up and we'll plant them. So if you want to suppress the formation of chits on potatoes, all you need is cold. Cold, dark and dry. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stick with me. You'll see me planting these hopefully later this year, and I'll make a decision about the ones that have chitted, and then you'll see what I do with those as well. Okay, hope you've had a nice Christmas. I hope you're getting ready for the gardening year that's ahead of us. And I hope you've got some store-bought potatoes set aside. We'll go on this journey together. Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.